I'm Ben Nicholson. I've been working in banking for over 20 years. I'm a Six Sigma professional. I've done some major projects in Barclays Capital and RBS in recent years. The key things that are going to change in operational excellence over and above what you might see in a standard lean approach will be to focus more closely on industrialised root causes and also how that plays into case management and continuous improvement groups, which are rarely seen in financial service organisations currently. With root cause analysis, one of the main things is to implement a case management system whereby if you have an exception in your process, you need to log it into a database or some form of recording mechanism, and when you've realised which aspects of the case you need to pay attention to, whether it's urgent and economic or it's service related or some other aspect, when you close the case down, it's to assign a root cause code from a standard list. So at the end of each period of a week or month, you can aggregate your root cause types so that you can perform Pareto analysis and attack in a priority order the things that are causing you the most pain and discomfort and delay. Previously, what I've seen done is to produce a database where you key in all of your exceptions and you bring in some rules of the road whereby you train staff how to perform root cause analysis and how to use those root cause codes so they would know the difference between where static data was incorrect or the person who'd sourced the deal, if it was an investment bank, the trader might have written it on the ticket incorrectly, or if it was some support staff, whether they've keyed in a ticket incorrectly, and you isolate what the main issue is. And then when you've got these industrialised root cause codes, you'll start to see patterns forming. Either you'll see traders causing the problem or operational staff causing the problem, or you might see it centred in a specific product that's very difficult to process because of its complexity, and then you can start to take rational, prioritised decisions on which aspects of the process you're going to improve first. So continuous improvement groups are essential to ensure that you're improving, as it says on the tin, on a continuous basis. So relying on a lean wave or some periodic change to come through in this day and age is very difficult. So if you can augment that with continuous improvement groups, you can have an open discussion on a bi-weekly, weekly basis so that you can get your key SMEs across the entire functional spectrum to discuss the improvement opportunities that exist end to end. And by doing that, you often facilitate conversations between people who wouldn't ordinarily speak to each other about their process, and very quickly you'll turn up a bunch of opportunities that you would have been unable to detect before if you'd relied entirely on each individual silo trying to make their part of the process as good as they could in isolation. One of the ways to ensure that staff maintain an interest in it, having trained them in the first instance, is to encourage them to have their ideas logged in an opportunities log, so that as you spot a problem, you would get credited for the rate at which you're spotting opportunities. Secondly, the people who are great at working out the root causes of problems would get their name credited on the opportunities log as well. And it might be that one person's very good at spotting the issues and calling them out, and another person is better at understanding why those opportunities have arisen in the first place. Thirdly, you'll get people that are really good problem solvers insofar as they can work out what the things are that you need to address to actually stop the problem recurring. And then you might have people on the implementation team who are the fourth group of people who will get credit for the work you've done, so that at the end of a period of a month or a couple of months, or at a town hall meeting or in a newsletter out to staff, you can give credit to the staff who have most commonly spotted the issue, worked out the root cause that need to be addressed, or come up with a solution or implemented the solution. And that way, as staff get to see their colleagues being recognised for the good work they've done to improve their own process, and you've shown what benefits that process will have through prioritising which ones you do first, staff will want to show that they're also key contributors to that process improvement and how it improves customer service, reduces risks and reduces costs. So one of the issues that businesses have these days as you move to a more siloed and locationally remote approach is a continuous improvement group armed with a database and some standard root cause codes can facilitate conversations that wouldn't happen ordinarily, so that if there's a lag or an issue or some way of making a transaction flow through the pipework more quickly and effectively, the continuous improvement group, along with the other tools and techniques I described, can help that transaction pace remain high, low cost with a low error rate, and customer service can be improved fairly rapidly. One of the unusual techniques that you could do if you wanted to improve efficiency and effectiveness is to train the staff, particularly the ones interacting with their customers, how to write in a top-down style, so that you're putting your thoughts into logical groups and setting them out in the exact fashion that the reader can digest most easily and make the content of that email or communication as actionable as possible. So, for example, if you had a series of trades or policies that needed to be dealt with, you would not only provide the basic details of the trade to your counterparty, but you'd also provide them with their trade reference number. So you've literally given them everything they possibly need to get on with the changes that you're asking them to do. The ways this would benefit a business is that the clients then get a more structured and consistent writing style from an organisation. Secondly, they know what to look for every time they receive one of these emails. And thirdly, because they've got all the information they need at their fingertips to undertake what's being asked of them, that will reduce the numbers of times where you'll have to go back 3, 4 or 5 times to follow up on the tail of the work that's not completed. And in that way, it improves your efficiency very substantially. And I've seen instances with clients I've worked with where that's taken their customer service levels from being considered to be very poor to being the best in the industry, and I would say that was one of the effects that has an enormous benefit to the entirety of the operation at an extremely low cost.